Welcome to another edition of Finish First. I'm Judge Dawson, and I'm coming to you from the Yoga Lab here in Cleveland Heights, where we specialize in yoga and body movement. Let me get my pillow straight behind me. But today, as we're going through our process, we talk about the development of our seeds, right? The seeds of greatness that we have within us. And I'm going to continue down that road because we're almost there. We're almost ready to become the destiny, the seed growing into the destiny that we are intended to be. Your DNA has a prescription on it, a certain set of development ready for you and me. And honestly, it only means that we are supposed to be successful. We are supposed to have a life where we are being abundant and we're spreading our blessings. Now, what I must remind you is that abundance comes in many different shapes and forms. We always think of those who are rich and famous, but that is not necessarily what abundance means. Instead, abundance means that you have happiness and joy in your life. See, instead of chasing the bad, we have to chase happiness. And instead of chasing money and cars, we have to chase happiness and joy. Instead of chasing money, cars, and houses, we need to chase joy, happiness, and legacy, something that we can leave behind to make this world a better place. So these talks are aimed at letting you know that inside of you is a seed that will grow into an amazing destiny, the destiny that you were intended to live, the legacy that you have to leave. It's all about us cultivating the seeds and making sure that we are in the right environment so that we will grow. Now, I want to take a pause and rewind some of my thoughts in regard to your seeds growing, because we know that environment is important, but we also know that your seed may grow regardless of the negative environment. Your seed may grow even in a negative environment, because if you remember from the very beginning, I told you that if your seed is placed on a windowsill, far away from any soil, any air, any rain, your seed won't grow. But now I want to tell you that if you simply place your seed in an environment where seeds grow, but it's the wrong environment, it won't stop your seed from growing. In fact, what's going to happen is your seed is going to develop into something that's not productive, something that's not up to your standard. Okay, let me tell you what I'm talking about. I don't know if you've ever seen an acorn, but what's really interesting about an acorn is that if it falls on concrete, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It may be smashed, it may be eaten, anything. But if that same acorn falls on the grass, pretty soon, it will begin to sprout and it will begin to grow and take root. Now, it may never become a tree, depending upon what else happens in that environment, but it can become a tree or some type of growth because it's in soil. So here's the takeaway from that. You may not be planted in the environment that you need to be in to be as successful as you can be, but wherever you are, that environment will cause you to grow in some way, shape, or form. Let me say that again. The environment that you're in, it may not be the type of environment that's necessary for you to be the best that you can be, but the environment that you're in will cause you to grow in some type of way. So maybe instead of you growing in the influence of going to college or finishing school, maybe you'll grow in the way of saying, you know what, school doesn't matter. I don't care about education, because of your environment. Maybe instead of being in the environment where it says, you know what, I can fulfill my dreams, I can accomplish my goals, maybe you're in an environment where your growth is going to be, I don't dream, I don't plan, nothing ever works out for me. Or let me bring it home. Maybe you're in an environment that tells you, you know what, I have to do whatever it takes so that I can survive, so I can provide for my family. So that means if these police officers pull me over, I'm not going to let them take me down a road that can give them a reason to abuse me like some of them do. But maybe your environment instead is, I don't care about the police. If they roll up on me, it's on. and that environment will lead down a certain path. So ladies and gentlemen, it is so important to understand that yes, environment is so important, but even if you're not in the perfect environment, your seeds are going to grow. They just won't be growing in the way that you need them to grow so that you can be successful. All right, so once your seeds begin to grow and take root, remember, now your tree is going to grow. Now that's the stage that's very fragile, because trees become big and strong, but they're not born big and strong, right? They start off so very fragile. In fact, you can basically knock a seed over or kick it and ruin its entire destiny. And even a tree that begins to grow, the branches, they're fragile. The trunk is fragile. It's not strong. It's almost like a little baby that comes out of a womb. But that's exactly what my point is. Your seeds, your goals, your destiny, it's fragile as it begins to grow. So we talk about the environment and how important your environment is, but now once you start growing, it is even more important that you protect yourself. See, if you really notice, trees don't have a gang that it hangs with. Your trees in your backyard, they don't have a mom that's feeding it. You know, it obviously is getting its blessings from above. But you know, all the resources that we have, all the people that we think we need to keep us protected and keep us on the right track. We're talking about your seed and your growth and your possibilities. Trees don't have a posse. They don't have backup. But what they do is they try their best to take care of themselves. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the key is you want to try to move within your environment so that you don't break. Have you heard that phrase before? I bend so I don't break. So what you'll notice is as a tree is growing up, it's very flexible. Those trees can endure the wind, they can endure the rain, they can even endure some animals coming by and pushing them around a little bit because they're in their growth stage and the DNA prescribes for them to be flexible while they're growing because that is their way of taking care of themselves. So you have to ask yourself, when I plant my seed, the seed of my goal, the seed of what I want to accomplish, what do I need to do to take care of myself while I am growing, while the ideas are growing, so that someone doesn't destroy my ideal or destroy my seed with their words? I don't want anybody to destroy my seed or my ideal or my growth with their actions. So I have to protect myself. And a lot of times that means getting yourself in the right environment. And let me give you one tool today. You have to protect yourself from fear. Fear is like a poison that runs through your body and will destroy everything that you're trying to accomplish. We have to move far away from fear into our destiny. And you're thinking to yourself, you know what, Judge, I don't fear anything. Well, let me tell you how fear shows up. Fear shows up as procrastination. You're like, you know what, I'll do it a little later. I'm going to procrastinate. It's no big deal. I can get this done later. That's fear. Or fear is, you know what, God told me to do this and that, but you know what, I'm waiting to hear something else. I'm waiting for another sign. That's fear. Or fear is, you know, I have the money to do it, but I don't want to move forward because what if? That's fear. Fear will stop you dead in your tracks from becoming the tree that you are supposed to be. Fear will stop you in your tracks from you experiencing your destiny, your greatness. So my tool today is for you to get far away from fear. And not only does fear show up in those doubting words, but fear is manifest through the people that you hang with. So if you have people in your corner who's always telling you why you can't accomplish something, or telling you how hard it's going to be for you to achieve your goals, move away from that person. And I'm going to tell you something else. Fear shows up in violence. Yes, fear can show up in violence. So when you have those people who are violent in your neighborhood, well, it's because deep down inside, maybe they fear the inability to be successful. So what they've done is turned it around and said, you know what? I'm not worried about school. I'm not worried about getting a good job. I just want to fight every day, all day. That's a form of fear being displayed through violence. So don't get it twisted. Don't think that the loudest person in the room doesn't have any fear. In fact, they may have the most fear because what they're trying to do is cover up the fear, the deficit on the inside. So my word for you today, as we continue to take care of ourselves, as we continue to move forward with growing into the tree that we are designed to be because the world needs you, move away from fear. Get as far away from fear as you can so that you can walk in faith toward your destiny. All right, that's my word for you today. Is Judge Dawson from the Yoga Lab, bringing you your finish first. Until we meet again, namaste.